to turn it off. Tell me to turn it off. Okay. So we'll run through a quick educational session on speech purpose. The purpose of your speech. Can anyone guess, or does anyone have thoughts on what different purposes a speech should have? Any guesses? General, I'm talking about first, speech has two purposes. Any given speech will have two purposes. One is a general purpose and the other would be a specific purpose. So what would be what are the type of general purposes we can think of?
Educated.
Pardon me?
Idea communication. Communicating your ideas.
Communicating your ideas. Okay. Communicating ideas. Send the time for this also. Okay. Communicating ideas. Something. Someone else something.
Educated.
Okay. Fine. Any other? What is it? Motivation. Very good. Okay.
Just information or giving information. When election results seem to be humor.
I'm coming to that. Humor. Who said that? Humor. Anything else? Where all do you see speeches?
There is a gathering
Before elections.
Before elections. Tell me, give me a guess what that election speech would be. Typically, if you had to categorize the election speech, what would it be about?
Specific speech to influence people.
Influence, persuade, inspire. Okay. Any other speech type you can think of? Welcome speech. Okay. What they call as commemoration addresses in universities. Okay. Third, we have good options. See, broadly, the general purpose of speeches, and all these things that we have mentioned fall under four categories. First is to inform. What can you think of? What speeches would come under inform?
News.
Yeah, even when you say talk about election speeches, they can inform the audience. Educative speeches fall under this category. Lectures, college lectures, these are all, they come under information. So any speech which gives people information, which educates you about certain things, water waste management, construction management. So these are all information speeches. Okay. Then we have persuasive speeches. Among the speeches that we had today, whose speech would have been what would you call as informative, informed speeches, which was to inform. Amit was speaking something about something about information, right? Okay.
How to study something.
Correct, yeah. So he was saying something about information. The Vinny was talking something about construction management, a little bit of information. So though it will not fully categorize as informed. Now coming to persuasive, what speeches would you come under persuasive speeches? What the general purpose of the speech is to persuade. Again, election speech one. Any other you can think of? Will say.
Like in a debate, debate, each person will debate, tries to convince that their point is correct.
Correct. You persuade people to your line of thought or influence. Those are also, they fall under persuasion. Any other?
Sports.
Finally, when they go for a match, final match, the coach just persuades.
Inspiration.
It's
Persuasion. Yes. Sales is all about persuasion. A salesman goes and talks to a customer. Persuasion. An advertising fellow or what do you call a brand ambassador speaks on TV. Persuasion. So persuading to your what shall we say, your product, your brand, whatever. So persuade. Then what could this kind of speech come under?
Entertainment.
Absolutely. So entertaining speeches. How do these kind of speeches get spoken? Absolutely. Stand-up comedy. What else? Adults.
Marriage.
Comedy nights with Kapil. Exactly. At a wedding, Toastmasters came out of that. At a wedding, you raise the toast and give a speech about the bride or the groom. So that's your entertaining speeches. We have informative, persuasion, entertain, and then we come to inspire. Inspirational speeches. Your welcome address? Somebody mentioned. You mentioned. Welcome. You mentioned. Yeah, welcome address. So, coach, motivational speakers, keynote speakers, coaches speaking to their teachers or their team members. All this comes under inspiring. So, when you look at a speech, take XYZ speech, it will fall under this category, any one of these categories. Whether it might be informative, persuading, inspirational, or entertaining. Any speech that you take. If you look at the general purpose, there might be a main purpose and a sub-purpose. Some speeches might main purpose is to inform, but could have a sub-purpose in inspiring. So those gimmicks or those kind of cumulative permutations and combinations might work out. But broadly, if you look at, if you want to categorize the types of features, 4 types of features. Now this we spoke about was the general purpose. This was the general purpose. Now,
Prakash, what about commemorative speeches?
pardon me?
Commemorative speeches, like when a chief guest is a smaller function and has to just give a speech.
It could again come under either inspirational. They are somewhat like keynotes.
Like at a funeral, you have to give a speech. It's not the emotional speech.
It's probably an inspirational speech because you always say that this person was so great, we should live up to what
Yeah,
they
probably.
an inspirational speech.
Probably. Seriously, a good question. Okay, so these are the general purposes. These are the general purposes for any speech. Six. Okay. Now, what do you think would be the specific purpose? What could a specific purpose mean? I am talking about persuasion. The general purpose of the speech is persuasion. What would be the specific purpose?
Achieve sales targets.
Meeting the goals. Very good. If you to evaluate the specific purpose, how to look at a specific purpose is what we call as the POV, me, from the audience perspective, what is in it for me? The general purpose might be to persuade the speaker. The speech itself might be to persuade, but to persuade him to maybe buy your phone, or could be to take up a step towards wastewater management, to rainwater harvest, to do something to minimize the garbage. You do something like garbage segregation. You are speaking to an apartment owners association, so that this thing is to persuade them to take up waste management, garbage segregation. But the specific purpose is that they have to initiate methods to do certain things towards garbage segregation in that particular apartment. So that would be the specific objective of your this one. What do you call as specific purpose, general purpose and specific. Specific purpose is from the audience, very clear from the audience perspective. Specific purpose can be typically put in a, you can mention it in one line. The purpose of the speech is for him to buy the Samsung Duo's latest model. That could be the persuasive speech given by the salesman at the counter. It might not be 6 minutes, but he might be speaking with a general purpose of persuasion, but the specific purpose is making a sale or converting into rainwater, taking a rainwater harvesting. The other aspect about what's it?
General purpose could be like, suppose if you are talking about pollution, you talk about pollution in particular at the start, and then you will come to specific purpose, like there are different kinds of pollution, air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, and then you have made some research and you have got something to tell or inform the audience about noise pollution, because specifically about noise pollution. First you speak only about pollution and how it affects us, and then you go pinpoint one of these is noise pollution and how we are affected and how we can get rid of it, what steps we can take. So in general you are going to specific.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. So from a broad purpose of persuading, you are coming specifically into noise pollution and the steps you are taking to control noise pollution. Now, the other is that when you look at a speech, whatever specific purpose you are giving, it should be realistic. It should be attainable. You can go ahead and attain rainwater harvesting in an apartment complex, but no point in giving a specific purpose like your purpose is to become a if Narendra Modi, imagine, comes and gives a specific purpose for Indian democracy is to overtake China in 5 years. By the end of 5 years, we will be bigger than China. It doesn't make sense. So he might try to persuade, but these kind of purposes don't make sense. So you get the picture. It has to be realistic. So when your next speech would be about this aspect, we call this as getting to the point. You start from whether you are taking up whatever topic, look at it from the perspective of whether you are trying to inspire someone, inform someone, and come to get to the point. Bring yourself to a certain kind of a concrete conclusion. So, just to conclude, what are the 4 types of purposes broadly when we talk about speech? Persuasive, entertaining, and from general you move to specific. In specific, look at it from the point of view of the audience. What is it for them? How you can move the audience from A to B with that purpose? What do you plan to do to the audience with that specific purpose? It should be attainable and it should be worded simple. So last session we spoke about organizing the speech. We have started applying yourself towards organizing a speech, OBC method. You have a way to focus your speech, whether it is informative, inspirational, persuasive, and bring it to a specific point. Specific. You are trying to move your audience from a state of mind A to state of mind B. Okay? State of mind A. An audience is not influenced. They don't care. They care that. And you are moving them a little to maybe they are interested. By informing, you are moving them to maybe they are interested. So, fine, folks. Hope you have any. Do you have any questions? Any thoughts? Where you can add something?
Called as emotional species.
Pardon?
Yeah, you need one as an emotional species.
All speeches need to be emotional so that you
Well,
get
yeah.
tired.
Emotional in the sense, the speaker, can you make the audience literally cry?
By inspiring inspirational speeches can make it by informative speeches can make it by. Like the combination actors of Steve Jobs. You know Steve Jobs? Yeah. In Stanford, it is the 2005 series. I don't think many people go to the Steve Jobs. So, listen to this. So, any really emotional, any real speech which is intended to move a guy doesn't do emotions. I remember one guy, there's a very famous motivational speaker called Jim Rohn. He says, if you speak to a guy, suppose you take a pin and throw at a person, it's like, when you're talking to a person in very clear terms, it's like taking a small nail and throwing it at a person. That is the kind of effect that is having. You combine your talk with emotions, connect it with your emotions, connect it with the kind of emotions that the other guy is going to feel, and then you hit. It will be like hitting a guy with a pin attached to a hammer. That is the power of emotions. All speakers try to win emotions. Emotions are absolutely important. So, we will, we end this educational session. Any doubts you can always clarify. And now I will go through the evaluations. We'll go through the evaluations. After that, we will have one more speech by Mandan. He will be giving the second speech. Okay. Or else I suggest let's do it this way. Let Nandan finish his speech. We will have both his evaluations. You evaluated last time? I can. Please. Okay. So now Nandan will be giving his. He has since he missed out last time, he would like to give his organize your speech now. Okay. 5 minutes.